Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a co-opple of nerds. And in light of Valentine's Day, we are going to be talking about a video game we love, a movie we love, and a board game we love.
That's right. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So, I guess we'll go ahead and jump right in it with the video game. What video game do you love?
Video game that I love is Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. Have you ever beat Super Mario World?
No, I usually sit back and watch while other people beat it. But it is a game that I do enjoy playing as well. I think it's just a fun game.
It is a fun game. It is the just quintessential Super Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I think of Super Nintendo, the first game that pops in my mind is Super Mario World.
I like that there's so many worlds to go to.
Yes.
I
Yes,
love that. And that they're all different, and there's even like little hidden secrets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's so much fun.
It is a great game. A lot of people think that's when they introduced Yoshi, but Yoshi actually debuted on the regular Nintendo. He had his own Yoshi's Cookie. There's another Yoshi game. I'm spacing on the title of it. Have you ever played the sequel, Super Mario World 2? I think that's
No.
Yoshi's Quest.
Oh, no.
So that's one that has Baby Mario.
Okay.
And every time you get hit, Mario falls off and is crying like a baby.
Okay.
And you have to get him. So not only did you just get hit, but you now get to hear a crying baby. So that one didn't do quite as well as the first one.
Okay.
But it's a great game. I actually haven't beat it either.
It's so long.
It is a very long game.
There's a lot of levels to get through on that one.
Yeah. I mean, there's some warps and stuff like that, so you can kind of speed it up.
Yeah.
I typically get to... So there's, like the airship, the boat, and then just the tank, right? Leading up to Bowser's place, and that's normally where it gets me. I get a little burned out fighting all the cannons, just cannonball after cannonball after cannonball.
I can't even make it that far. But I do enjoy the lower levels that are easier.
If you get the warp whistles, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You can get there pretty easy. My game I love is Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite game series. I just replayed it on my vacation. I love it so much. Have you played
No.
Resident Evil?
No, usually when I was a kid, my brother would play Resident Evil, and he would ask for me to sit in his room with him because he was scared while he played it, because it was scary.
This is, I think, the first really scary movie I remember playing as a kid. I remember I didn't have it, my cousin did. I remember sitting in his room, all the lights are off, and it opens with sort of like you would call it a little movie, little cut scene, but it had real actors in it, and has the zombie dogs, and it's called Cerebuses. You don't really see a real good look at them. You just see all these soldiers just going down in the tall grass, and you're like, what the heck is this? And then it's like when you first start off in the game, three characters are kind of chit-chatting, and then you guys go off, and when you come across the first zombie, he's down there eating somebody, one of the members of STARS, and he does this slow turn back to you.
Yeah, it's really, really, really
And
creepy.
I was just like,
yeah,
that is unlike anything I'd seen at that point in time. I was like, that is insane. That is a scary video game. I've never, Mortal Kombat had blood, but it was so over the top that you were like, it's not scary.
It was violent, but not scary.
Right. This is the first one I was like, oh my god. It's all dark. I'm not sure what year this came out. This is the director's cut, so it might be a little bit off. This says 97. So I would have been 14 at the time. This is the director's cut, so I'm sure the first one probably came out maybe a couple years before that. So I was maybe 11, 12. Seeing that was a scary game. But I also thought it was really innovative. It's not, the run and gun beat 'em up where you can't move on to the next screen until everyone's dead. Like this game, escaping enemies is actually part of it when you play on the harder levels.
Well, you have so much ammunition, right? Is this the one where you
Right,
have set
yes.
ammunition?
Yeah, you find bullets, so you can
Right.
find more. But yeah, it's designed that you're supposed to. It doesn't have the best controllers for this because they call it tank controllers, where forward your character will step forward, backward your character will step backward, and then side to side will turn them. So it's more like they call it tank controls. So it's not as fluid, which makes it a little bit tougher to dodge zombies. I'm sure a lot of people are way better at this game than me. So I tend to play on easy so I can kill everything that walks. But
That's a good one.
and it has 8 different endings.
Oh, yeah?
So there's 2 characters, Jill and Chris, and then each story arc has a non-playable character, and then an ability to go and save the other character. 'Cause
Okay.
they're kind of in this jail thing. And if you just save yourself, you get one ending. If you save the non-playable character, you get a different ending. You save or just the other player, you get a different ending. If you save both of them, you get a 4th ending, which is really neat. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's been games that have multiple endings
That's a
before,
lot of work.
but I thought 8 was higher than normal. Let's go to movies
Okay.
we love.
So, a movie that I love is The Count of Monte Cristo. And not a ton of people, I don't feel like, have seen this movie.
You told me I saw it. I don't remember it.
What I really like about this movie, it's got to be more the story. I don't think that this movie got the greatest reviews.
I think it was 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good.
Okay.
That's solid.
I do like Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce in this, but it's got revenge, it's got sword fighting, it's got a love story, it's got piracy in it, there's pirates in it, and it's even got a little bit of history in it with Napoleon. So I just thought it was a really great movie. I really, really loved the story, so I went out and bought a couple different copies of the book, different versions of it.
How closely does the movie follow the book?
There's a lot missing, obviously.
Well, you can squeeze a lot more into a book than
Absolutely.
you can with a movie.
Absolutely. And actually, the book was really a series of books.
Okay.
It was more than one book, but still, I absolutely love this movie, and I could watch it over and over again. Definitely, I always try to recommend it to other people. I always say we need to have like a Count of Monte Cristo viewing party because everybody needs to see it because it's great.
I'll have to rewatch it. We'll put it back in the tower upstairs. That's pretty much maxed out. We probably got to watch a couple movies to make some space for it, but I'll rewatch it. Mm-hmm. So is it? Would you call it an action or a drama?
It's probably more drama than action. There is some action in it. It's a story of an uneducated man who is on a ship with his best friend who is very rich. And they're both, I think, like deckhands on a ship. Mm-hmm. And
A rich deckhand?
Yeah. Yeah, basically they both work on this ship, and their captain gets sick, and the captain is dying. So they pull up ashore to this island hoping to find medical help for their captain, and it turns out that it's Elba, the island where Napoleon Bonaparte has been banished.
Oh, exiled, yeah.
Yeah, he was exiled to Elba, and anybody who entered the island was supposed to be shot and killed, but Napoleon asks the guards to spare their lives, and because their intentions are genuine. So they get help from Napoleon's doctor, and while they're there, since Jim Caviezel's character is very uneducated, Napoleon Bonaparte takes advantage of that and gives him a letter to send back on the mainland saying that, oh, it's just innocent, just give it to a comrade of mine. But it turns out it is actually an escape letter. So his best friend, who is played by Guy Pearce, is actually jealous of him and turns him in. And because the letter was going to be going to someone very prestigious, he gets sent away to Chateau d'If, which is the worst possible prison that anyone could ever be sent to. But while he's there, he meets a gentleman who has also been banished there, and the man teaches him how to sword fight.
By the way.
Teaches him how to sword fight and read and write and all that, and he comes back with his ultimate revenge. He finds a way to escape and comes back on everybody with his revenge.
Okay.
So
spoiler alert.
There's definitely more to it that I did not spoil. I didn't give away the end. I didn't give away the end. There's a lot of good to it.
Okay.
There's more. It's a long story. You would think that the movie would be longer.
How long's the movie?
I don't know how long the movie is. 131 minutes. I guess that's
210 or 211.
Yeah, that's a decently long movie. I guess from the time that it was made. This was made back in
early 90s.
Early or late 90s.
Early or late 90s.
I would say in the 90s. I would say in the 90s it was made. But back when it was made, a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, I guess, was kind of long for a movie. Now, I think a lot of movies are that length of time.
Yeah, I actually don't see the date on there. That's interesting. Where would they put it? Alright, well, let's not have a bunch of dead air looking for this date. It's probably the 90s.
So, what is...
So, a movie I love. King Kong. This is the 1933 movie. A little bit older than yours. An hour and 4 minutes. These old school movies did not have as long, which is pretty crazy because this movie doesn't. It's black and white, so it looks older. But if this movie wasn't black and white, I feel like you could easily think that this movie was made in the 60s.
Yeah, it was very innovative for its time.
It is the most innovative movie I've ever seen. Just watching it and thinking like, World War II hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
This is what, Great Depression? 33? Somewhere around there?
Yes.
How's your history? You're supposed to be the smart one.
Physics, not history.
But it is just insane. They had the projection shots where you project one image, project a second image in a void on that image, so they're like layered. They had the animatronic, giant animatronic hand to grab the actress. I'm blanking on her name right now. Fay Ray. Giant animatronic face, teeth, and eyes, and it moved. Like, for that thing to move in 1933 is just insane to me. And it was... They used rubber, and the rubber kept drying out and splitting and cracking, and they kept having to rebuild this monkey's face just over and over and over. And they got stop motion. This movie was just so innovative, so beautiful. It's a love story gone wrong. Not very Valentine's-like, but, it created... Maybe it didn't create the trope that beauty kills the beast. It's up there though.
Yeah.
No,
It's like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. But it's a great movie. Every time I watch it, I find a new thing with it that I'm like, that is incredible. This is 1933. You should not have been able to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched many of the remakes or many of the redesigns, just because I love it so much. I don't, and I understand that the old movie doesn't go away when they remake it, but just don't want to.
I watched the one with, it was a newer one.
Was it Jack Black? Or no? Because there was one that the Lord of the Rings guy did.
Yeah.
Was that Kong of Skull Island?
Okay, that was not the one that I've seen. It's older than that.
Okay, and then there was another one.
It's kind of recent, but it was.
There's
older
one
than-
that's basically brand new. I think it's supposed to fit into the new Godzilla universe and redo the was it kaiju monsters?
Yeah.
I think eventually those two are supposed to fight, Godzilla and King Kong.
The one that I saw.
That may not even be out yet though.
It's been out. It's been out for at least 5 years, if not more. And I felt like they tried so very hard that to make Kong look so powerful and fierce, and with all the CGI, it actually kind of was boring. Because he spent so much time on the top of this building holding the girl, just roaring, that you're like, okay, when's it over now?
That's
Let's move on with
interesting.
the story.
Like I said, I've only ever seen this version. I probably need to check out the other ones, but if I just want to watch King Kong, I'll watch this one.
Yeah,
So.
that's good.
All right, last but not least, board game we
Yeah.
love. 5-Minute Dungeon.
Yeah. So this is usually a kind of a surprise for people. I guess maybe not with regard to me, because you would probably expect that I would like simpler games. But I really like 5-Minute Dungeon. I like that it's quick. It's 5 minutes for each level, of course, that you play, because you can keep leveling up. And I like that it's cooperative. And I also like that you have to think on your feet. You got to think real fast.
Yep.
And it's somewhat like putting a puzzle together, just as fast as you possibly can. And I kind of like that.
Right.
That upbeat.
Yeah, so this is a time game. You have a 5-minute timer. You need to match images on obstacles, villains, whatever to get past. You got a handful of cards, and it's simultaneous action, so it can get frantic. People just throwing down like, oh, here's a sword, and then I got a shield, and just boom, 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 boom. And if you don't have good communication, you'll start wasting your resources, because you'll start doubling up resources you need, so you got to have good communication. We've only ever played this 2. I think it goes up to 5, if memory serves. That would just feel super
2.
chaotic at 5. I couldn't imagine it.
It's
Just
definitely
everyone
good
throwing
for 2.
cards all the time, like.
Yeah.
It'd just be crazy shouting, but it's 5 minutes, so crazy shouting for 5 minutes is fine. It's a fun game. It's a quick game. It's not a relaxing game though, because you have to stay hyper focused. There's no like, well, let me go get a sandwich real quick. No, just banging out as fast as possible. Go, 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 go. It's fun. It's super light, but it's something that we enjoy.
Not saying it's my favorite. I'm just saying that I love
They're
it.
just saying we love it. These are just loves. They're not favorites.
Yes.
We haven't done favorite. Favorites is tough.
Yeah.
Favorite,
There's
like,
different categories too.
yeah, I mean, favorite movie of all time. Like, that is, whenever people ask me those types of questions, it's like, that is so,
Yeah.
at least narrow it down by genre to
Right.
give me a hope. Like, how do you compare King Kong to Inside Out. Like, I just don't even know.
Inside Out's your favorite Disney movie.
I think Inside Out might be my favorite Disney movie. I do love that movie.
So your game.
So my game, a little backstory before I show it. This game is very old, and we purchased it recently. It's very expensive. So I don't want to gloat. It was a present from Miss Mary here. She surprised me. I think I was having a bad day at work and called you yelling up a storm about work problems, and we had saw this at one of our favorite
Half Price Books.
yeah, one of our favorite half price books. And I'm talking about it, and I was like, it's too expensive. And when I got home from work, she put it under the blankets.
I'm glad he didn't lay on it.
So, yeah, good thing I didn't run and jump onto the bed, but it was very, very sweet. So, when I thought of games I love, I thought of this one. So, without further ado, I'm going to back this one up.
Yeah.
Hero Quest. This big old box. So big it won't fit in the Calyx. This game is made by Milton Bradley. 10 to adult, 2 to 5 players. It is a all v1 game. So it's mostly cooperative, but you do need someone to control all the villains. Which I think was... I mean, this, everything I'm going to say about this is going to be impartial. This game I didn't have as a kid because it was too expensive even back then for my family. But I just remember going to the toy store and just staring at it. Just literally staring at the box, like drinking in every detail of this box. Seeing the crazy chaotic scene. And they didn't even call it a board game. They called it a game system.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Why do I even say play board game? What is a game system? And no one I knew had it. But I just remember, staring at this big hulking barbarian brute and all these goblins and orcs, and there's a mummy on there, and the Grim Reaper looking guy, and just staring at it just for hours, wondering what's inside. And then, eventually you stop seeing it in the stores, and you grow up, go to college, all that, forget all about it. And then I got into board gaming and was like, oh, I want to play Heroes Quest. And a buddy of mine has it, and we played it a couple times, and I was like, oh, this is great. It's... Now I know that Descent is just a better game. I understand there's a lot of games that did what it was trying to do way better. This is still a roll and move game. So whatever you roll is how many spaces you can move. So if one team member hits, 2 6s in a row, the other one hits a 1 and a 2, they're way far behind. So the other player's basically just sitting around waiting for them to catch up. So I understand it's outdated, but it just has a lot of sentimental value. And it's currently waiting for our kids to
Get old enough to play
Get
it
old enough
without
to
destroying
play.
it as well.
Yes. So we got, according to the box, we got about 9.5 years till we could bust this bad boy out. But I love it. I'm so happy I got it. And I will obviously play the villains, and I'll fight all my wife and kids.
I just want to be the good guy anyway.
So much funner when you can be evil.
And we checked it out, and it has all the pieces
Except for the dice.
except for the dice. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good for a game made in 1990s. It's turned 30 this year. To have, and it's cardboard pieces too. Like
It looks
you
great.
fold together cabinets and other furniture, which can, it's just cardboard, so it's very easily destroyable. I'm not sure what happened to the dice. I assume the guy who had it before lost them, or kept them or whatever.
Yeah, the dice are pretty cool too. Is the red dice?
You know, well, they got red and white. So red's for the villains, or no, red's for attacking, white is for movement, and they've got different symbols on them. They've got like shields and sort of looks like a walrus. I know it's not supposed to be a walrus, but I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be. Yeah, different sides to it. When we got it, it did have this little piece of paper where they had basically mapped out a D6 and wrote, attack, defense, magic, whatever it was. And so that way they could use it. Standard dice in this game. But eventually I'll try to find some reproduction dice. Maybe at Gen Con, maybe I'll try to keep an extra eye
Or on
open
eBay.
for.
I know we found them for sure on eBay.
Yeah, they're pretty pricey though. I was kind of hoping that, was that Chessex? I think Chessex has 2 booths at Gen Con every year.
Yeah, at least 2.
And I was hoping maybe they'd have some specialty dice. I understand you're going to pay con prices, which aren't cheap, but I feel like a game like this is worth it.
Yeah, that helps the con.
So what do you think? Do your loves lean more towards
Probably
Mary
not.
or more towards me?
I'm weird.
I got a lot of violence over here. Resident Evil, King Kong, Hero Quest.
Yeah, I'm a little more kiddish and lighthearted.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments down below which one you side with.
Yeah.
Until then, happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Kisses. So what's your favorite part about Valentine's Day?
The food.
The food? What food is associated with Valentine's Day?
We always go out to a fancy restaurant on Valentine's Day.
My favorite part about Valentine's Day is you.
Aww.
Did I get lipstick on?
No. It's a shame.
Hmm?
Nothing.